What is good, YouTube? We are back, and today we're going to be discussing the Oklahoma City Thunder versus Denver Nuggets, specifically talking about Game 4, which may have been the most goofy goober ass game I've ever seen in my life. This shit felt straight like the 90s, bro. Tell me how. I just watched a game in the Big 25 where Oklahoma City, drumroll, had 10 three-pointers, all right? You're like, whoa, that's mad low. What's going on? They must have gotten blown out. Denver had 11. Denver had 11. It makes no sense. In the Big 25, teams out here shooting that horrendously from three. But I will tell you, it was one of the most fun games I've watched. One of the ugliest ones simultaneously. But regardless, this series has been an absolute blast, a banger. And we're going to break it down. What's been going on specifically in Game 4, what happened, and what each team needs to be doing next in order to win this series. One thing I've noticed about this series, it doesn't make any sense. Neither of the stars, you have the MVP of the league, whoever it's going to end up being, and you have the runner-up for the MVP of the league, whoever it's going to end up being. They're both playing in this series. Neither of them have had a good performance consistently. Jokic had one in Game 1, where he dropped those 42 points, big buckets, right? He had one elite game. Other than that, look, what's a bad Jokic game, right? It's still going to be a phenomenal game compared to everyone else. But to his standards, let me just show you stats real quick. Game 2, 17 points on 37% efficiency. Game 3, 20 points on 32% efficiency. And then today's game, 27 points, but wait, 32% efficiency. Jokic has not been playing his best. And it's obvious, it's clear as day. And it's honestly miraculous that these games have been so close because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has not been playing good to his extent either. You look at Shai, right? Tonight he played some good ball, but this series has brought up his three-point percentage significantly lower. He's only averaging 26% for the playoffs now. Not to mention, in the last game, not this game, but Game 3, Shai only had 18 points on 32% from the field. Bro, these guys have not been playing their best brand of basketball. It's been ugly. It's been a defensive battle between both of these teams. And historically speaking, Denver has not been able to hang defensively when it comes to these other teams, but they've still been right there, neck and neck with OKC in pretty much 3 out of these last 4 games. Only one of them was a blowout. However, it's worth mentioning that this series is going to go down to these clutch performances. And the past 2 close game clutch performances, OKC choked. OKC straight up choked. The lights were too bright. These guys did not know what to do. But tonight, what this game showed was that OKC can hang in the clutch. However, they can't hang on the offensive side because nobody's going to talk about how for the last 4 minutes of the game, OKC went scoreless. But it's not that big of a deal because Denver went scoreless too. I shit you not. When there was 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, the next bucket didn't come until there was 20 seconds left in the game. And that was from Aaron Gordon hitting that goofy goober ass three-point bank, which he somehow, bro, Aaron Gordon, I literally trust this guy more than, bro, look, Steph Curry, Iguodala, add Aaron Gordon to that list of clutch performers. Martians coming, death being pointed straight at earth. I want Aaron Gordon. That's the type of shit that he's been pulling off this playoffs. But, man, it is absolutely insane. We did get a better performance from Shai in the clutch, at least when it came down to the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. I don't know if you want to consider that the clutch per se, but he did show up a little bit around there. But OKC, bro. OKC, how are you guys just shitting the bed when there's 4 minutes left on offense? Defensively, they stayed firm, and that's why they won this game. Because if they were slacking on the defensive end, this game could have just slipped out of the reach exactly like how Game 1 did. Exactly how that went. OKC, in the last 4 minutes, needs to score. Denver, same deal. However, Denver already stole a game from OKC in Game 1 because of that. And OKC showed it tonight. They did win this game. However, can you really rely and bank on whenever you go 4 minutes without scoring the basketball in the last 4 minutes of the game that the other team is also going to do the same thing? Because that's what OKC's shown this entire series, is that in the last few minutes, they just shit the bed. And I don't know if you can continue to have these close games and get that lucky where the other team just stops and does the same bullshit as you do. Y'all staring at each other like a Spider-Man meme. Man, everyone shot bad, though. Everyone shot bad. OKC starts off the game, right, with a 16-1 start. 16-1, bro. Denver starts battling back and outscores OKC by 12 in the third quarter to get this nice lead. They were up by around 7. However, from the start of the fourth quarter to around where there were 4 minutes left and then OKC started shitting the bed, OKC did go on a 21-7 run, and that was phenomenal. They really needed that. There was so many players that played like dog shit today, though. J-Dub, dog shit. 2 of 13 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. Like, bro, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, J-Dub? You are supposed to be the second, if not third, best scorer on this team. And you're throwing up 13 shots, bro. You gotta at least shoot better than that. 2 of 13. This game would have never been close if J-Dub was hitting those shots because he threw up a bunch of them. If J-Dub was hitting his shots, this game wouldn't have come down to the wire like how it did, and it almost fluked it out of it. Lu Dort played horrible. Horrible to the point where Mark Daigneault had to sub him out for Alex Caruso, which I think was a great decision. And I think going forward, I would not be upset if Lu Dort was not starting these games because, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Bro. Lu Dort, this linebacker built, this big-ass dude, needs to be hitting his shots, man. He needs to be hitting his shots. Caruso came in and showed a lot more energy, a lot more hustle. Lu Dort was like 2 of 10 from 3-2. It was terrible. It was terrible. Like, everybody was dog shit today. You know who wasn't dog shit? Aaron Gordon. We already talked about and glazed him earlier. We're going to glaze him again. 15 points, 16 boards, 7 those being offensive rebounds on 50% from the field. Aaron Gordon has been such a bright spot for the Denver Nuggets entire playoffs. Christian Braun had a phenomenal game too. He didn't play the most efficient ball. He shot around like 40% from the field, but he did have 17 points. My biggest takeaway is this. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty games, OKC has to be better because they've been sloppy. They have not been playing like a 68-win team when it comes to those last few minutes. Today they got lucky. Part in that Denver just could not hit a shot in those last 4 minutes. And on top of that, they did play phenomenal defense. So they did show out on the defensive end. And you can play phenomenal defense and still there could be better offense. Denver didn't show that tonight, especially with that offensive juggernaut that Jokic has been. I think Jokic is due for a big game. And if that big game takes place and it transcends into that fourth quarter, you can't go 4 minutes scoreless. The same thing goes with the Denver Nuggets. They have shown that they are good in the clutch when it comes to really every single game that they played in this entire playoffs. They even stole game 1 from OKC because of that. So I'm not too worried about Denver's side of it. But when it comes to OKC, they got to win by a bunch of points, like how they did in game 2. And with Denver, they will always come back. You saw them. They started the game off 16-1. And Denver still found a way to come back. I'm super excited for this series. I have OKC winning this series in 6. I don't know if that prediction is going to stand now, only because I think it's going to go to 7, regardless of who wins between Denver or OKC. I still think OKC is going to take this series. If I had to pick one from today on out, when the series is stuck at 2-2, I still got OKC winning. But man, it is dangerous. The Denver Nuggets are an absolutely dangerous team. So, man, I'm really excited. It's been some fun ball out west. Next up, we're going to talk about what happened to the Indiana Pacers destroying belt to ass the Cleveland Cavaliers. And there's really not much to talk about, bro. There really isn't much to talk about. Indiana just came out there and they wanted it more. They didn't even need a crazy game from Tyrese Halliburton. As a team, they played better. As a cohesive unit, they just showed out. They didn't even have Benedict Mathurin in this game because he went out and thought he was fucking Justin Gaethje. The way he's out here swinging and shit. But man, it was just crazy. It was bad. It was bad. And honestly, if you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, you better hope that Donovan Mitchell is going to turn into 2018 Bron because he has been this series. He's been playing phenomenal. Today he didn't play that good, and hopefully he's not injured. His ankle did look a little hurt. But how good are the Indiana Pacers really? Because they could be contenders at this point. They're 5 games away from being in the NBA Finals. We'll just have to see, man. I think this series is pretty much all but over at this point. If you're the Cavaliers, though, what do you really do from here? Looking forward, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess you have some optimism because a lot of guys were beat up game one, game two, so you run it back. But man, I'm gonna write the series off as over. I don't see a 3-1 comeback happening, especially not if Donovan Mitchell's out. Another Eastern Conference game is tomorrow. We got the Knicks and the Celtics. I'm really excited for that one. I think that one's gonna be pretty fun to watch. I do think that Boston's probably gonna take the series out. They're gonna stretch it out to at least 6 or 7 games. They're not just gonna go out on a limb like that. Boston's a team. They do some goofy goober shit, and then they come back in the stupidest way. Win or lose, they make it competitive. they are perennial conference finals teams. They may not go to the finals every year, but they're pretty much a bank to always go, and they always find a way. So I'm not going to write off Boston just yet. I do have Boston win that series. But, man, Indiana, shock in the world. OKC, Denver, been a banger. And, man, if you're here still, just know I appreciate you. Leave a like, subscribe down below. Let me know what's been your favorite series so far. What are your predictions for this series because, look, at this point, whatever your predictions were in the past, it doesn't matter. It's 2-2 apiece now. If you want to make a new prediction, drop it down below. Let me know who you got. OKC or Denver. Pick a side. Let me know what y'all do. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care.